This is possibly the only thing that will save Terra Luna Classic at this point. What can save Terra Luna Classic? It's a glimmer of hope, a spark, a match, if you get the reference. What's happening, everyone? What I'm talking about is Terra Luna Classic burns. We gotta see them. We gotta make sure they stay alive. You know, like just reigniting the fire. Being out there, you know, it's a big problem. It's a cold world, and we gotta turn the AC on for Terra Luna Classic. And it's problematic. It's for sure problematic.
What's up, you guys? It's Matt here. So let's talk about Terra Luna Classic a little bit, because I think a lot of the community doesn't really get it, right? I want to talk.
Yeah, I felt a lot of like at least like 30-40% of the community for Terra Luna Classic left already. And the biggest issue with Terra Luna Classic is not its utility. It's actually to agree what the utility is for. So it's very hard to agree and ask people what Terra Luna Classic's proposals are. It's hard to agree what Terra Luna Classic's actual utility is, and I think this is where the big problem comes in.
Talk about the proposal, which I don't remember what the number is, but it is 11.933. I want to talk about that proposal. I'm going to go through the way the community is kind of thinking about this and where it stands. And why I believe.
So this is a huge proposal. If you don't know what proposals are, it's like, imagine this huge quadroom of people, but instead of them voting as like in the government, each person votes with one vote. Here you have like the majority of holders of Luna Classic have a higher voting power. And you also have something like delegators who have the voting options, who can basically say yes, no, like these are the representatives. So it's a very fair system. It's a very great system, actually. And it's how governments work, where you have representatives. Here you have delegators, you know, which are miners, which are earning Terra Luna Classic. And that's the difference I'm seeing with that. But it does seem like Terra Luna Classic is just getting started in a sense, and it's going to perform much better in the next few days. I suspect the issue is it got seriously wrecked by all the burns.
0.2% tax or 1.5% tax, that's not something that's going to kill volume. It's been proven in the past.
Yeah, so we had that, and it did not destroy Terra Luna Classic at all. I think I kind of agree with that, you know? That's the problem, really, with Terra Luna Classic right now, is this can't and probably won't kill Terra Luna Classic at all.
That 1.2% has done more volume than 0.2%, which 0.5% has done more volume than 0.2%. So it's not about the tax that's really taking out the volume. It's just kind of a coincidence that happened right after staking really hit kind of its peak point.
Yeah, so people stopped staking, and I think that was a big problem. So people just decided not to stake at all.
So as majority of people staked and as they were doing anything on chain, that's the only reason to do anything on chain. And the reason why we're trying to do this for the 1.5% overall tax is to create a sacrifice for each individual investor that's a part of it to gain the ultimate or the big picture item, which is, you know, hopefully becoming a millionaire from Terra Luna Classic, or making so much more from Terra Luna Classic, or being a part.
I think everyone wants to be a millionaire, even if it's hard. That's the people's dreams. That's the people's goal, to be a millionaire with Terra Luna Classic. Yeah, but it's not easy. It's not simple. And I do think it's a fair possibility that a lot of people will be a millionaire with Terra Luna Classic. A lot of people were millionaires, but a lot of people also started with like 15 million and dropped down to 1 million. A lot of these institutions left Terra Luna Classic after the big crash of 2022. Now, we don't talk about the big crash of 2022 because it got a lot of people very frustrated. It lost a lot of money. But that being said, it does seem like there is potential in that sense for Terra Luna Classic to recover, because right now it's on the community's hands. It doesn't have a big institutional backing really with the current situation. There's no big institutions or big corporations saying, hey, we hold like a large majority of Terra Luna. No, most of the people holding Terra Luna Classic are average holders, and some big whales, very rich whales that bought at the lowest.
Of this growing community and what it could be, and ecosystem and chain, right? Eventually we will worry about developing and building on the chain, but right now we are in the recovery phase, and it seems like
Exactly. So Terra Luna Classic is like right now in the hospital. It's just not seeing those level points of engagement that it should be seeing, but it doesn't mean it can't recover in that sense. Like, I still think it can see a massive recovery. But at what point is Terra Luna Classic gonna be all right? Like, right now is the time to like act. Right now is the time to get the holders back, because the bull run is getting started, guys. So I'm really wondering, like, where will it go from here? That's the one thing I'm really considering in that sense. But I will keep you guys updated on that with more news.
like every step of the way, we're trying to skip that recovery phase because someone's trying to make money off of it.
Exactly. So they tried to charge it like 30K to just maintain per month, like to keep like a promise of how it will work. So they were kind of like, a lot of people were trying to make money off Terra Luna Classic because they saw easy money, like to take money from the community. And money's siphoning out, you know, from the community classic. This was the community pool. So whales got scared and they sold. And this is the reality what happened. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say, oh, everything is okay with Terra Luna Classic. No, Terra Luna Classic has been hit by bad times, really, in a sense. So that's where the big problem came in. And I know a lot of people were very frustrated in that sense. Like, people didn't want to be associated with Terra Luna Classic because it was crashing, it was falling down fast. And I didn't think Terra Luna Classic would be growing that much after I saw it in 2022, but yet here we are.
We don't need to skip the recovery phase. We don't need to skip the recovery phase. We need to address the recovery phase and continue.
Exactly. It's not like, oh, it's going to pass, right? No, we got to fight through it. When it's a recovery, you got to fight through every single step. And this is just crypto, you know, some crypto coins, they never recover because they have no recovery phase at all. And that's the big problem right now. Like, we need that some sort of big recovery for XRP. For Terra Luna Classic, not XRP. I got confused because he's wearing the XRP shirt.
Recover. Then after we recover, perfectly fine. So let's talk about this proposal and let's give you my opinion on, you know, whether it should be passed, which you already know. I think you should vote yes. And the reasoning behind that. So guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more of these videos. Also, make sure you check out any of the links that are down below. It does help out the channel. And if you guys want to start trading, you would have a one.
So this is the tax policy people were talking about, like, right now. This is like the main talk of the town right now, in a sense. So that's what I'm excited for. Like, we are going to be seeing more news pretty much soon, in the sense that the taxes will recover pretty much in a good way. There's tons of recovery still inbound, still planned ahead.
0.5% tax, but you would be able to make $3 million from this play that you have now. Would you take it? Probably, right? So for the long term, I know a lot of people,
like, these burns actually help. And Matthew Perry, the reason why I watch his channel is because he proves very well that there's still a Terra Luna Classic community out there. I know a lot of people switch to Bitcoin, Ethereum, all these tokens, all other tokens, but Matthew Perry keeps on kicking.
Are okay with that. It's not something where you're like giving up 50% of your supply because of, you know, a 50% tax is here. No, I'm honestly okay with a 10% tax because recovery should be a quick effort, something that you're trying to do as fast as possible, right?
It's like a recovery plan, you know, like, voting yes on the Terra Luna Classic proposal will be the major game changer Terra Luna Classic probably needs. It needs like something to change the system. We've been just waiting and waiting, and nothing changed. And I think this is where the real problem arises in that sense. But I do think Terra Luna Classic does have major potential.
Terra Luna Classic fell really hard. And
he's right. It really did fell a lot.
The reason why I saw an opportunity was because I knew that there could be a fast recovery. Now, I thought that Do Kwon would also be on board with that recovery, but it seems like, you know, Do Kwon moved towards, you know, creating this.
So it's been almost a year since that big recovery plan. That's what gets me kind of worried. Like, how bad is this recovery plan in a sense? Like, are we really at this point just not seeing any recovery at all? So that's my question right now. Like, is crypto doing so bad that the TERRA LUNC Classic cannot recover? No, the bear market is over. So why aren't we really recovering? Now that's my question that I have. And I do think there is major potential for Luna Classic, but with current situations, it's just a bit problematic really to see like any sorts of bull run rises.
Right, this newer TERRA 2.0 and kind of crumbling this up and not throwing it in the trash, but throwing it to the side and leaving it to the community, when in fact, if he would have been a part of it.
Yeah, so he basically said, oh, TERRA LUNC Classic, not my problem anymore, and basically left. I think that's where the big problem came in. He didn't really care about TERRA LUNC Classic. He focused on Luna 2.0. But if he focused on TERRA LUNC Classic after its crash instead of focusing on a new token, like the issue was with saying that TERRA Ethereum Classic and TERRA Luna Classic, like there is like crashes. So in that sense, so the tokens that crash, they're not really coming back. And that's what got me worried. Like a lot of these tokens, they just are not going to be seeing any type of bull runs really. And they're really diversified. Like look at Ethereum Classic, it still hasn't recovered. And now we have Ethereum growing compared to when Ethereum Classic could be growing at that time. Now that was a different situation because they got like hacked or there was like a bug and they had to migrate all the stuff. This was like happened 2016 probably or 2017. A long time ago, just when Ethereum Classic was starting out. But you know, we could learn something from that. We could learn from that situation in the long run and actually notice what's going on with TERRA LUNC Classic, like what the potential is, everything that is fine, everything that is wrong, everything that's good about this token. So I'll keep you guys more updated on that one pretty much soon.
I feel like it would have been a lot better. We would have had that recovery stage and we kind of would have had maybe a little bit of leadership. It's kind of showing that maybe we needed leadership from.
And the Quan has a lot of experience with leadership, but he just didn't care about TERRA LUNC Classic. And we had no actual leaders. We had teams that were making a ton of money off TERRA LUNC Classic that were trying to siphon in a way, like not sure if even teams, but developers trying to just make money for every single proposal. And because there was money in TERRA LUNC Classic and they didn't really care about the project. They more cared about filling their pockets. And that's the problem here. You know, and people started to revolt. People started to sell to show like a sign of disagreement. But the people didn't care in that sense.
In the beginning, because a lot of people are everywhere, right? So since the beginning, we had the 1.2%, which they're trying to bring back within this proposal. They're also going to give 0.15 to the community pool and 0.15 to staking. This goes nowhere else. It doesn't go to anybody's wallet. It's not going into whoever created this proposal. Is not going back to them in the form of funding or anything like that. So I'm in favor of the tax because I feel like it supports the community. It supports staking to incentivize more staking. And then also it supports the burns, which I'm a big fan of, recovering the whole entire thing. So right now the vote stands at 44% yes vote. And we're getting close to quorum. We're at 26% right now. You need to get to 40%, I believe, for quorum. And you're seeing 44% that say yes.
Look at this. 44% is actually pretty good. Even some abstaining. This is good. Like, he's pushing out those yes votes. And if we get the quorum is half filled. So right now it wouldn't pass. 26% of all like holders, like all the staking holders saying, yeah, we can do that. But there's also 18% saying no, which I guess I understand. And there's also 90% saying no with veto. And those that are abstaining, those that could push out the yes quorum, that would really help. But we first need to like get enough votes. I think voted like 256 out of 960 billion. So only 26% voted so far. Could be getting more votes. I'm going to check that. I'm going to keep you guys updated. So this is the most important 1.5% burn. And Matthew Perry knows that. He's not doing this for views. He actually cares about, you know, changing TERRA LUNC Classic for what it is. It's kind of dead right now. It's kind of not getting any type of returns. And it's kind of in a recovery phase, as he said. But this can really change the space, this can really change the industry.
Yes, 18% that say no, 19% that say no with veto, and 17% abstain. So right now, if the top validators vote abstain, it will go through as a yes vote, right? That's only if the top validators vote as abstain and everybody else votes as abstain, because the 44%, if it gets up to quorum, 44% vote yes and everybody else basically votes no at 19. And
yeah, so if like we got like 40% voting no, that's gonna be bad. Right now, what we need is people voting. Like, get out there and vote.
18% kind of splitting those to where people are so aggressive that they're like, I don't want this coming up anymore, so no with veto. However, if they would have kind of combined efforts, it may have gotten them closer to that actual no vote. But since they're spreading things apart, it seems like, you're getting to a point where this could possibly pass. Now, what we're...
Exactly, yeah. So while the votes are apart, this doesn't mean it won't pass. And I think that's the exciting thought, like that we could be seeing TERRA Classic finally changing after 1 year.
But then you have LUNC Live, that's about 1%. That's on a no with veto. And LUNC Development Fund and Luna Knots, all of those are below 1%.
So less than 1%, like Luna Development Funds, we saw what happened with the funds. When people had these funds, they just took the funds and they didn't finish any of the work because they got the funds already in advance from the proposals. So seems like no with veto if you want to exercise veto power against this proposal, which could lead to the loss of the 5 million Luna Classic deposit, which was contributed by the different member of Luna Classic community. So someone could lose actually the TERRA Luna Classic as a punishment, but I don't think 5 million Luna Classic is that much, right? Just basically put it up ahead to vote in that sense.
So ultimately, it's getting close to passing. The ones that did not vote, you still don't have... Let me actually... can I sort by voting power? I can't sort by voting power. So you don't have...
So voting power, I guess, like this means how many people voted. So the people are most active in this one, actually. They're most active in the current plans in that sense. Like with what's happening right now, they want to keep ahead and vote on the projects that, with the projects that are available in the current scene, in the current space. And that's exciting, definitely exciting.
Stake that voted. You don't have all nodes that voted. Orion Money hasn't voted. You don't have... Sorry, let's go over here. You don't have KuCoin.
Okay, that's interesting. I guess an exchange forgot that they have like the TERRA Luna Classic and they just decided not to vote because they probably forgot. But Orion Money should be voting. They're very popular in the community.
And the whole entire time of being at 0.2%, right? 0.5% have more than 0.2%. So if you're looking at that, the more the overall tax is, the higher the volume actually has been. So it literally is completely disproven, right? So I don't understand why we're trying to push this narrative that it's going to kill all volume.
It won't kill volume. Like if it's 20% tax burns, of course it will kill volume. But if it's like, what? Just a bit more, if it's like 1.5%, the whales won't notice. Like the only thing that could notice is like the MAV bots, so maximal extraction value bots, which are probably not that good for the trading volume anyway. They're like just making money. That's literally all they do. So I think this is the big problem here. Like there's no downsides literally to this exchange. And I do find that like kind of exciting that we could be seeing more of that pretty much soon. But I'll keep you guys more in the loop on this one.
Won't. People will trade as long as they see the opportunity. And the crazy thing is, there is a ton of opportunity within crypto to gain hundreds of %. So a 1.5% tax is not going to hurt somebody. It's not going to hurt short-term investors. It's not going to hurt long-term investors. And I think we keep getting that confused because of the fact that we have this overall narrative that continues to be pushed where...
Exactly. This is not going to hurt TERRA Luna Classic. It's already so much down. But if you guys want to be kept up to more to date, I made a very fair point. This vote could change Terra Luna Classic forever. We could be seeing more burns. Matthew Perry, he loves burns. He loves talking about burns. He loves making videos about burns. And that's why the community respects him. He has a vote here. And he has some power. Like 4K people watch him. Which is kind of a lot for Terra Luna Classic. I make Terra Luna Classic because it's fun to make. And there's still the community out there. Obviously, he's not doing it for the views. Because there's obviously like things to make for views. Like Bonk and Grok, which everybody's making views on right now. So it's exciting to talk about this. And it's exciting to have a community behind you. Step back, watch these videos, tell you what's right from wrong. And I do think there is potential to see more in that sense. So I'll keep you guys updated on this pretty much shortly. If you want more content, you know what to do. Press that like button. Maybe even subscribe. You know, I'm not asking for too much. In that sense, like if you want to stay subscribed, cost you probably nothing at this point. And I'll keep you guys updated with more awesome news. Peace, everyone.